Welcome to the Busy Bee Wind Down, where we have fresh sips, industry tips, cruising on ships, and all that shit. The one podcast where you have dance, travel, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Bounce, and I guess I got time today. All right, guys, welcome back to the Busy Bee Wind Down. I'm your host, Bounce, and I guess I got time today. Today, I'm super excited to bring to y'all somebody that I absolutely adore, love, and wholeheartedly look up to. She is a friend that dropped into my lap. She is a great friend, an advocate for the LGBTQIA community, and so many more things. But I want to introduce you to my beautiful friend, the beautiful Miss Danny Constable, Miss Danny from the South. What's up, boo-boo?
Whitney, hi.
How are you?
I am good. I am tired, but I'm good. I'm full. Thank you for having me, love.
Danny, how's your day been? What's going on?
No, working. I actually did a site visit with the carpenter for what we'll get into later on over the weekend, and then they have another visit for measurement tomorrow. So things are happening. Work is good, work is great, work is very black. Um, yeah, life is just going and
Amazing. Life is amazing.
so crazy because like I feel bad because like I don't feel bad. Let me not say that. I don't feel bad. I feel feelings towards like the fact that there have been people like suffering during this time but like honestly this pandemic has been nothing but blessings and abundance for me. So I don't
Thank you.
like
I'm
it's
glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. I feel like quarantine and just the pandemic itself has just been a time of relearning yourself and really like honing in on the things that you're great at. Like this is the time to really start, right?
and like to like figure out what that actually looks like because I feel like with everything happening, a lot of people had to rethink what their goals were and like what long term really looked like because like if it's not centered in joy, like what are we really doing? Like why are we killing ourselves for like
Right.
you know?
Right. Like why would you put the efforts towards the craziness if it's not going to do anything for you? Well, before we get started into this conversation, because this is about to be an amazing one, I want to let everybody know today's conversation is simply about giving back to the community and why it is important. And that is exactly why I have Danny on. She has done some amazing things during this quarantine and before this quarantine, let me get it right. But definitely during this quarantine that I feel the world needs to know about. But before we get to that, Danny, what was your drink of choice for the night?
So I am drinking it's actually lipstick on my straw. I'm drinking Bullet bourbon and ginger ale. Cause
And is it a sweet, harsh taste, or is it like a sweet?
it's sweet and like chill. I feel like I had tried drinking vodka last time, but really I'm a brown girl. I like, the people that I date brown. Like that's what I like.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm once again drinking Apothic Red, rich and smooth, because yeah, I didn't finish the bottle the last time, so why not drink it this time, right? All right. Well, before we get started, I'm gonna say cheers to you. Take a sip, and we're gonna get into this conversation. So, Danny, tell everybody where you're from.
So I am born and raised and bred in Decatur, Georgia.
Yes, Georgia.
By
Southern Belle.
Panama. I am a first gen um Black American. Yeah.
Look at you. And so all your family is literally from Panama. That's
Everybody.
crazy. How often do you go back?
So I have not been back since I was a kid, and I'm actually, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I was gonna go this year. I'm still gonna try to figure it out. My aunts really want me to come, so and I was just on a Zoom with them. It was so cute. They were all speaking and stuff and being old, and I loved it. So I'm like, oh, I miss y'all. So I'm trying to go back ASAP as soon as
As
possible,
soon as they let us in?
as soon as they let us in. And I'm about to start back my Duolingo because I can't be. I gotta get the language. I gotta. This is embarrassing at this point.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. I started Duolingo when the pandemic started, and I was doing so good. And then I just fell off. So we're gonna keep each other accountable on that one and get back on it so that we can go and talk, to and go to Panama and vacate and then talk with the fam. All right, so I've been asking everybody this question, and I'm gonna ask you. During this pandemic, what is something that you have either learned about yourself that you're now seeing you're progressing on, or something that you found out within yourself that you've got to let go?
Got to let go. Okay. So boom. So I have learned a lot about myself during this pandemic. I have learned that I really like solitude more than I realized. Like being in the house has been hard. I miss my friends, but like overall, like I really do like being in like peaceful place. Like I don't need to be at the club. Like
Yeah.
like going to the park has been more than enough for me to feel good. Like I want to throw ass a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm okay. So I've learned that I really appreciate my solitude, and that's very important for me and my restorative practice. I have learned that picking out, so it was three of us in this house, and cooking for three is not fun. And I have learned I'm not ready for kids because I don't want to do that all the time. Like I have no
So you
desire.
learning some things about yourself. You like that's not in the plans anytime soon.
Like when I have a full like a nanny and a chef, a home cook, something, because baby, I can't do that. Not
Agreed.
today. Y'all go starve.
Agreed.
That's another thing that I have learned about myself. I learned that I love plants. I like have gotten so many house plants, and I started growing things. I started growing like food that we can eat, and like that has been one of the most transformative experiences of my life, honestly, which is just so interesting. It's my Saturn return. It's the last year of my 20s. Like I
Look
just
at you. You just wait. Last year at 20, so
last
29
year my half birthday was on
point.
6 months.
Yes. So you got 6 months until 30.
6 months.
30 30.
Excited. I think Dirty 30 is going to be amazing. Something that I have let go. I think that I am learning to let go and working on being okay with people having averse emotional responses to what I say. I think that a lot of times I try to do things so that people can remain happy at my own expense sometimes, and I cannot do
Mm-hmm.
that because it's not good for me in the long term, and it's not good for them because like they're thinking it's fine, really it's not fine, and I'm dying on the inside. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to just learn to like have a little. So I've been like working on my throat chakra, you know what I'm saying? Like just working on being authentic, treating myself and remaining authentic to myself.
Yeah.
But yes, so that has been a big thing for me. And I think that I've also learned during this pandemic, especially with my new dog that I love, ooh, even though he stresses me out, I have learned the importance of letting go. He has destroyed a lot of my things, and also like this pandemic has like shifted so much, and I had to like adjust quick and fast and pivot quickly. And so this man is in the closet, like he just climbed up on stuff. He's wild dog. But yeah, speaking of, I had to really learn like it is okay, and some things do not serve you, and sometimes their time of serving you is up, and you have to just it's hard, it's uncomfortable, but you have to just go.
You know what's crazy? I feel like during the pandemic, that has definitely been something I've learned as well. I've lost people during the pandemic, and I'm not even talking about death, but simply like friendships that I had to let go because they weren't nourishing me and they weren't putting me in a position where I felt we were growing together. And it is very hard, especially when it's like those friendships that you've had for years. You get what I'm saying? Like you're like, okay, yeah, this has been my friend since like childhood. And it's like, no, now as an adult, we're no longer at that place that we have to let it go. And it's really hard. It's really hard. I will say that. But I feel like also at the same time, because I'm learning a lot more about myself, and I know you have learned a lot more about yourself, that you're like, it just comes with what the boundaries. It comes with what we're doing right now and where we are right now in life. And you just got to roll with the punches, I feel.
Just breathe. Ooh, just breathe through
Just
it.
breathe. Wait, okay, so you said that your dog, you've had to let a lot of things go, and of course, your dog has taken some of those things, but you've started new things during
Yeah.
this pandemic. So, what have you started? What have you discovered?
So I discovered that I loved gardening. I also I'm not gonna say farming. I'm gonna say gardening because I don't deal with livestock yet, but soon
Mm-hmm.
at least like some bees and like maybe some chickens possibly. We'll see though.
Mm-hmm.
We will see. I really want somebody who can keep bees to just be around. That's what I would like. But so in learn because I've always wanted to garden. I've always wanted to grow things, but life is always just so I finally figured
Something new.
let me pop some seeds and some stuff. And I was like, oh, this is lit. Then I joined a community garden. I said, oh, this is lit. We need a version of this, but for like my queer guys and gals and folks and theys and thems. You know what I'm
Because our
saying?
community matters.
We need a little something for us where we can feel safe. Because I like here in Atlanta and Georgia, we have a decent amount, but there's really no community gardens on my side of town on the east side. And also they're all like very like cis, like heteronormative ran, and like
Mm-hmm.
some of them are safe spaces, but like for me it's very important that like I think we have our own spaces. I think that's critical in like any community, that like we have our own spaces within community, we have our own spaces within the safe spaces, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me it was very important. I was like, okay, so boom, like, okay, shit is happening, the world could crash, we need to know how to grow food, like we need to know how to like sustain ourselves, right?
You
And some
provide for yourself.
so I'm like, okay, boom. And I live in a food desert. I've always lived in a food desert. I grew up in Decatur. It's a food desert. It is what it is. So like food access has already been like important to me, but I really didn't know how I would get involved in that until I started growing shit. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
so if cause I'm more of a facilitator. So I'm like, if I can create a space where I can bring people in to teach and bring people into community garden and be able to
Yeah.
like grow enough produce to be able to distribute to the community, like why not? We need land. We are old land. Like they told us 40 acres in a mule. We ain't never got that. So the least you could do is give me a little place where I could grow some peppers and some.
Right. Right.
So
You
I was
took it from us in the first place, so why not go ahead and give it on back so I can provide the way I need to for my community?
like, so
Period.
I was like, okay, boom. All right, what can I do? Okay, all these things are happening. You know what? I'm gonna see what community says. I'm gonna see if I can get some reparations. Let me see what these white people is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Let me. And y'all, we got like 30 bands. Like we got 30 bands to open a community farm. The goal is 100K. I created the budget so like to fit all the things. And the long-term goal is to buy land and get a multi-unit property so that we can have kind of like a haven, a place to learn and grow and kind of
Mm-hmm.
get away. But I still want it to be like near or in the city, because for me, urban gardening is very important. Like it's great that we have these farms out in the outskirts, but like we also need to be able to have things in our community that are easily accessible to like kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just needs to be
Yeah.
close. And also like I want to create like a sustainable system where we're all learning to grow. So we're growing at our house. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Right.
if we're growing food, like if say something happens, we'll be able to trade, barter, all of these things,
Right.
be able to grow. Like it's important. It's ancestral. And we have to develop a healthy relationship with the land, because the land did not scorn us. The people on the land that did not own the land scorned us, but the land did not hurt us. And so it's sometimes hard for people to like get into that with our history, especially our history with,
Mm-hmm.
and like a lot of people's elders were sharecroppers, so they might not have passed down that information because they were just kind of like detached from it. It was seen as
Right.
thing. So now I see more and more black and brown folks picking back up and getting into
Yeah.
understanding like you don't got to be Farmer Jim out in the cut. You can do that shit in your backyard. You can do that, you know.
No, but for real, like my mom always says, she's like, your great grandmother, your great great grandmother, all your great grandparents, they provided for themselves. It was in their community. They were growing in their backyard because you just never knew. And then back then, families were bigger, so you didn't want to go to the store all the time. It was right in the backyard because you knew you had 8 kids that you needed to feed. You get
There
what I'm
was
saying? So for us to be able to
shopping.
go back to that is important.
It's so important. Even like I remember, I think it was around Juneteenth or something. This like article came out about like the water, the whole watermelon trope, but it was basically
Mm-hmm.
that watermelons were actually for the black community like a sign of like excellence, because we were growing a lot of things, and watermelons were one of the main things that we were
Yep.
growing from. And I was like, see, because I knew I liked watermelon. Y'all was looking to play me. That
When
thing.
people say they don't like water, I feel a little offended. You're supposed to like watermelon.
Like, don't let these people shame you or make you feel like the work that our ancestors did is no longer valid. Like, I'm gonna eat my watermelon and I'm gonna be
Right.
because it has vitamins and minerals that I need. So
Correct. So I got a question for you. So with the community garden, how often do you go?
Okay, so the community garden I am a part of, I go, you could go 3 times a week. With my new job, I've only been able to get out there once a week because
Okay.
it's happening. But I also got beds built in my backyard. So yeah, so I garden in my
What?
backyard. Yeah, 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 yeah. I have a
So
full
did you like was this how were the beds provided by that garden or did
no,
you
so I actually pay for the garden out of my, but I got it from, there's a Black woman who's actually going to work with me on the part that I'm about to tell you. I didn't even get to that part yet. That's going to work with me to, she is a garden, she builds garden beds, but she's like a full service. So like also like if you need somebody to come water your garden,
Wow.
she does programs at different schools to teach kids about gardening. Like she's really like a full service, like amazing Black woman. And so I was really excited. I had met her when I was bartending last year. I met her and I kept her information and I was able to connect with her this year. And now we're about to have a whole project.
Isn't that crazy how things are put into place for what you want to do without even knowing you were going to do that? Because you just started gardening during quarantine, right?
Literally March.
And what do you have at the garden, in the community garden?
Okay, so at the community garden, I have, what do I have now? I have giant sunflowers, like 12 feet tall sunflowers. They're so big. I have sunflowers. I had Thai basil. I've had to pull stuff over the course because things are coming.
Hmm.
I had cucumbers, I had tomatoes, I had bell peppers, jalapenos, chard. What else did I have over there? I think I said the Thai basil. I have sweet potatoes that are like going sick, but it's not time to pull them yet. And
Oh, I can't wait.
doing things, right? And then here I'm trying to grow some watermelon, but I started a little late. So we'll see what happens. I got some carrots going, my tomatoes, boom. So let me tell you something. Gardening is like really like learning how different things have different needs. So
Yeah.
I realized I wasn't watering enough, especially on my tomato. Like
Hmm.
it was really developed. I had like it was already growing. I took it out of the pot and put it in. And so, like within the past few weeks, I started watering it more. I was fertilizing, doing all these things. It looked like it was on its way out. Now it has all these new sprouts. It has like completely popped out, and it's about to have way more tomatoes. And it already had a lot of tomatoes. My Thai basil was looking crazy. Now it's like,
Oh,
like
Thai basil.
right, because you know I'm trying. I got the Thai chilies I'm trying to grow because you know I love Thai food. So I'm like, if I
You
can have,
also know I love me some Thai food, Asian food, and you know I went to Thailand this year, so
I got lemongrass.
all of it sounds so good.
Yeah, so I'm just very grateful, very, very grateful. And it led to this amazing thing, y'all. So let me tell y'all what happened. So one of my like colleagues from my first college, like
Hmm.
she just kept in touch. She's really amazing, sweet person. She was like, hey, Crystal, this person who owns Hodgepodge, this amazing Black owned coffee shop out here. She's opening these kitchens. And she wants somebody to come garden on the land, right? And I'm like,
Hmm.
mind you, I stand Crystal. I think she's amazing as a business owner, as a mom. Just like she's just like I've been like just following her on social media, right? So I'm like,
That's
so
crazy.
we connect. I go for the site visit, and she's like, "Yeah, you can have all of this." I said,
All
"What?
of it.
You can have all this land. You can grow whatever you want. There's going to be people in the kitchen share because the kitchen share focuses on exactly what I focus on: Black women and Black queer folks." She's like, you could grow the produce that you want to grow. You could sell
Uh-huh.
it. You could do the community stuff. Da 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 da. So I have land.
You have land now.
I have land, and it's exactly. I was literally looking for a building to rent that had land, and now I got it, and I don't have to deal with all this overhead or all these stressful parts because she's handling that. And there's space for classrooms. There's giant kitchens and walk-in coolers. I'll be able to store things. Like it's just like mind blowing. And so
That's crazy.
my carpenter who's
So
doing
you got the full package. Like you got a blessing in disguise, really, that just landed in your lap in the right way.
right, and I'm like, oh, so I'm doing this.
You're doing it.
I'm like, okay, universe heard. Like I said, I was gonna do it. I'm doing it, and like so many opportunities are coming because of it, and like I just know that I'm gonna be able to like change my community in very like impactful ways, and I'm very excited. And I don't know what it's gonna look like 10 years from now, but I know it's gonna be crazy.
I'm excited for you. Okay, so we started a garden. We have a community garden that we are also a part of. We've got our building and our land, and we've raised 30,000 plus. Because I'm gonna say that it's gonna get to that 100,000, of course, because it's you. But Tell everybody about the 30,000 and what you've raised so far and how they can possibly give to that GoFundMe, because I know you've been working really hard on it. I've watched it since it started, and I know you've pushed and pushed and pushed. I mean, like, you literally were pushing to the point you weren't posting nothing but that, which is great. Like, that's how you push your business.
I had to take a break for a second. I was like, y'all, like, I did not expect that bounce. When I started the GoFundMe, I was like, okay.
Yeah, because you know, people look at GoFundMe and then they're like, you can provide for yourself, but really,
when the numbers started just climbing, these people I do not know dropping one band at one time. I said, how you just got one band in your account that you can drop on me, this person you don't know? Like, I could have been a scammer. Like, luckily I have, and I really want to do this for my community, but I could have robbed all these people. Like, I was just like, y'all really believe in this vision. And like, so I started a fund to start the teaching farm for Black women and Black queer folks. It is on GoFundMe. I'm sure Bounce will include the link.
Definitely will.
Me. But yeah, so I started it a little bit before Juneteenth, and since then we have been able to raise 33,000. You know, minus some fees.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah, I just still can't believe it's real. Like, literally, people have like done like bake sales on my behalf. They've sold clothes and like, oh, these proceeds can go to you. Oh, like, people from their businesses are like, okay, we're gonna donate to this. Like, all of these white people with this white guilt is like going sick. And I'm because y'all be really living a whole different life to us. You get to live life like without really thinking about like violence and racism in the ways that we face every single day from the time that we wake up in the morning.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you get access. You are more likely to get approved for a loan, or have parents who can invest in you. Like, we don't really come from that. We don't get that. So we're trying to play catch up. So thank you for my reparations. Like, continue to give those reparations.
Right.
You deserve it. We deserve it. Like, we should not have to like struggle and drag ourselves through the mud to have just a piece of what you have. I be tweeting Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk like, y'all better stop playing with me.
Like, listen, hello.
One of these white people gonna give me $1 million. I know it.
They are, of course, because you deserve it, and it is something that is needed. I mean, look at where the whole community and just our country in general is going through. I mean, I know every day I get notifications like Japan's country is going down, China's country is going down, New Zealand, Australia, like, everybody is affected by this. Yes, sometimes I know I've traveled the world and I've seen other places, so I know other countries are going through stuff as well. Some people don't think they are because they see that they're also progressing, because they're taking the proper precautions to, you know, do what they need to do for their communities. But but still, people are going through stuff, right? Man, so you've done it all. Like, quarantine and the pandemic has given you more than you probably expected.
I've been really productive. Like, I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a hobby. Me and my friends all joke, I don't know how to have hobbies. Like, I don't know how to just like casually do something. Like, if I like really like it, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna no. But I think this one is a great hobby because like it's low, like yes, I'll be like running the facility, but like also I'm like not putting it all on myself. Like, I'm gonna site managers, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's gonna be a community of help. And so that is very important because I cannot do it by myself. You cannot do like garden outdoor. Like, it's really like a testament to like not being able to do things by yourself. Like, you have a support system and you have to like be able to spread the tasks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just like, you can't hold that weight. And like, especially when you're working for a community, like, you can't do it by yourself. Like, one, you'll be really sad. And then two, like, you need other people.
We're made to be with other people. That humans need humans.
Like, I can't do everything. I just started last week. I just know that I'm good at facilitating and like movement building.
Yeah.
I'm really the person who needs to like do all the parts. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay, wait. So I know you have the gardening. I know you're starting that now, but I do know you work in other areas of the community with the LGBTQIA community and the queer community, especially with us Black folk. So let the people know what else you do.
So I do a lot of things, a number of things. Historically, known mostly for being an event organizer and having really amazing, great spaces for Black femmes and Black queer folks to throw ass, and do a whiskey tasting or a number of different experiences. I'm really in the business of experiences. That is what I in addition to like it's like slash slash slash. I manage a really amazing artist named Kaya Lacey. She is phenomenal. Make sure you go follow her. She's great. Love her to death. I also like do project management for small businesses. So I'm helping with the opening of a nail salon. There's just like, and then I still have a regular day job, which I love. I work with an organization called Black Feminist Future, and we do movement building and organizing. And
yeah. You do it all. You're the Jane of all trades. That's all I gotta say. Well, let the people know where they can keep up with you, how they can stay in contact with you, how they can give to this GoFundMe. I'm also going to put the link in the bio so that y'all can give, because it is an amazing project. It's worth the time, the effort, the community aspect of it, and also just the heart she has behind it. Let the people know how they can stay in touch with you.
So you can follow me on everything at Dani from the South, Dani, Danida, from... Why can't I spell? DANIFROMDA, South.
Dani from the South.
I really struggled with that, y'all. So I changed my name as part of this pandemic, and so I'm still adjusting to the new name, but I needed something that wasn't related to what I used to do.
Right.
So that was a lot of things, but I'm like,
we're here.
We're weaving. So Dani from the South on all platforms. The GoFundMe, I believe, is GoFundMe.com/Black Farm GA, BLK, Black Farm GA. The website for The Guardian will be coming soon. That's still a work in progress. I just wanted a little bit more ground and footing before I really focused on that part of it. So yes, I'm very excited.
I'm excited for you. Well, I just want to say thank you and another cheers to you. Congratulations on all you're doing. And I can't wait to see what all comes of it. But thank you for joining me on this amazing, amazing day of this podcast. And thank you to all y'all for tuning in. I hope that y'all join us next Wednesday and Saturday for another conversation and new guest. But until next time, cheers. The Busy Bee is out.